Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 176 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, September 9th, 2023, and we have had a lot of hot weather this past week. Not a fan. Not a fan. I will not be complaining about the cold when that arrives. Trust me on that one. I will complain about the heat, not the cold. Anyway, I'm so happy to have you here with me today. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for stopping by to check me out. I hope you have fun here. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've been up to. I'm so happy to have everyone here with me today. I would love it if you haven't yet done so, if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow this teeny tiny channel slowly, but it would help me immensely if you would subscribe to my channel, if you would like this video, share it with friends, comment. I read all the comments. I try to respond to all of the comments. I love being in touch with you and talking back and forth with you through the comments. Drinking mango iced tea. It's so good. In my butterfly cup. So, what have I been up to this past week? A lot. It's been a busy week. As you can see from the thumbnail, I have 2 finished objects to show you. And I have a new project that I've started. Somebody's car alarm was honking away out there. That's annoying. If it does not stop soon, I will edit this part out, because that is really getting obnoxious. Oh, perfect. We got a siren coming along. Oh my gosh. Okay, now wait till that poor ambulance has got a little farther away. The alarm shut off now. Some of the fun of living right downtown. You get all the fun ambient noises. And the fun of living in an old apartment where soundproofing was not an issue. The windows are not that soundproof. Clearly, you hear all the ambient noises every week. Anywho, so now that I've completely forgot what I've talked about already, I have 2 finished objects this week. I have a new project I started, or a new cast on. I have some acquisitions to show you. You probably saw one of my acquisitions earlier this week. I have one more little thing, well, 2 little things to show you. And I've done some more diamond painting. I got my newest diamond painting on the past weekend, and I've got a fair bit done on that this week. So it's been a busy week. I had Monday off work for Labor Day here in the US, and I was able to get some extra knitting done that day, so that was good. So, 2 finished objects. The first one, my mismatch sort of shorty toe-up socks. So both of these were from each were a 20-gram mini skein from Moonstone Dye Works. I bought a couple years back and decided to do mismatched socks. Just do them 2 at a time, do the toes in bare, then my standard sock that fits my foot just right. I do 55 rounds in the main color. 20 rounds give me the gusset increasing. Then I do a heel turn and slip stitch heel flap, then pick up as I'm doing the heel flap, and then continue in the main color until I completely run out of the yarn, and then switch to the bare yarn. The legs on these mismatched socks, I do a total from the end of the heel turn or the heel flap to when I begin the ribbing. I do 15 rounds. So however far this yarn takes me, and switch to bare yarn to do the leg, and then 15 rounds in the bare yarn in a 2x2 ribbing. So these are number 3 and 4. Love the colors. They're so pretty. So these go along with the first 2 pair, or the first 2 I did with there was 5 20-gram minis that I bought. So this was the first one I made. This was the second one. So now I have 4 mismatched socks, and I love them. I have one more skein of one more 20-gram that I will be doing up in a while. I'll pull out another 20-gram from something else, and I'll do them 2 at a time. I've really fallen in love with doing the 2 at a time toe-up socks. For someone who started doing top-down, I might be turning into a toe-up convert. I'm still hooked on the heel flap and gusset. That fits my foot better than some of the other short row heel designs. Afterthought, they just don't fit my foot quite as nicely, or my arch and my instep quite as nicely. So I'm quite happy to stick with the heel flap. They're easy for me to do. I don't even have to think about them anymore. Either doing toe up, top down, doesn't matter. So those are my mismatched socks. The other pair of socks I finished this week. So these ones, I don't remember where I was last week. I think I was almost... One of the pair of socks last week, I was ready to start the heel turn. The other, I had just a few more rounds to go, and I was ready to start the heel turn. So this part is all new since I saw you last week. And the same with the other pair of socks. I can't remember which one. I took the marker out. I should have left them in. I can't remember which one I was ready to start the heel turn and which one I was almost ready to start the heel turn. Either way, both pair got done. So the second pair are my second Freckled Whimsy Advent striped sock, and these are from 2022 Advent striping or self-striping yarn. And I bought the 100-gram skein of yarn earlier this summer, June or July, I think I ordered it. And with the 100-gram skein of yarn, I was able to do 2 complete pair of sort of shorty socks. And I have roughly almost 5 to 10 grams left of the yarn, which will go into a pair of scrappy socks. So these again were done 2 at a time, toe up. When you when I bought the skein of yarn, it was divided into 2 equal halves. So I put them both into a cake and then went along and I did the first one, did the entire all 24 stripes. Then I stopped with that and I put the next 24 stripes ready for the second pair of socks. And it was a repeat. So there were, within the 2 skeins of the 250 grams, equivalent of 250 gram skeins of yarn, there were 2 full 24 color repeats plus a few more. I can't remember if it was 3 or 4. I think it was roughly 3.5 more color repeats. I don't recall exactly how much was in the last little bit. So I was able to get a full 2 pair of socks. Now if you give me 2 seconds, I want to put the other pair on the sock blocker so you can see the two pairs side by side. Or I'm just going to put one sock on. Actually, one sock on each blocker. They're easier to see on these blocker, on the metal blockers than this floppier one. And I'll show you in just a second. So here are the 2 socks. So they are not the same. The first pair, this was the first sock I did. It starts with the dark purple and it works all the way through the 24 colors and ends with the navy blue, then the light blue. On the second sock, I reversed the order. So I started with the light blue, then the navy blue, worked my way through the 24 colors and ended with the dark purple. So the color sequence matches in reverse. So it's the same colors, but they come out looking like 2 completely different socks. And I think that is just so fantastic. I think that's just the coolest thing, that I can get 2 complete pair of socks out of the Advent striping, and now we've got motorcycle. No, that was a pickup truck. The noises out, the ambient noises today. So I think it is just so cool that with the 100 gram Advent striping by Freckled Whimsy, I'm able to get 2 complete pair of socks that look different because the color sequence is running in opposite directions, and a little bit left over to do a pair of scrappy socks. And I am hoping to get a pair of scrappy socks starting up fairly soon. Maybe later this month, maybe not, I shall see. But, so those are my 2 finished objects this week. My Freckled Whimsy 2022 Advent socks. And this was the yarn label that was on that. So Sweet Shop was the name of the stripe design from last year. I have ordered the 2023 self-striping Christmas or Advent self-striping from Freckled Whimsy. That'll be arriving sometime later this fall, I think sometime in November. Either way, I should have it in my sticky little paws by the beginning of December so that I can start working on them. I think it would be cool if I could get through both pair of, I'm going to do the exact same thing with the 2023 Advent. I'm going to make 2 pair of sort of shorty socks with the color sequence going in opposite directions. So I'll need to decide whether I want to try to get both pair done in December, or if I will just do 1 stripe a day, which is only 5 rounds, roughly 5 rounds. If I'll do the 1 stripe a day through Advent and then I'll do the second pair in January. I might do that because I will have other Advent knitting that I'll want to be doing, and I will have other knitting I'll want to get done in December, so we shall see. We shall see. So the other thing that I started this past week, I only started at they finished both these pair of socks earlier in the week, and Thursday I started the toes for my 12-day Advent calendar of the 50-gram skeins of yarn from Orlando Fiber Art, and I've got the first little bit started. So the toes are done. I started the toes Thursday evening and I got maybe 2 or 3 rounds done on the toes. So I did most of the toe on Friday. I didn't have a lot of spare time on Friday to knit, and I'll talk more about that in the life stuff. But here's what I have so far. Oh, I showed you this skein of yarn last time. That's right, because I opened it on Friday and I was able to show it to you on Saturday's podcast last week. So here's the yarn for box number 9 out of the 12-day Advent. And as far, come on, focus. There, I think we're back. Yeah, we're back in focus now, I think. As far as I'm concerned, this is a gorgeous autumn color. It reminds me of the pumpkin spice latte that I don't drink, but the color is fine. But I've got just a few rounds done on this. So I'm hoping to get a good chunk more done on that this week coming up. I am entering that into 2, I'm using that as 2 make-alongs. The first one is the hashtag, I've got it written down here, hashtag Crazy Spooky Mal 23, and that is with the Crazy Sock Lady, or Kay Litton. And the second make-along I'm entering, they're both, I'm double dipping for this one. The other one is the hashtag Spooky Feet make-along, or MAL, and that's with Alex over at My Yarny Corner. And both of them, it's like a Halloween autumn theme. The rules are really loosey-goosey. They're not super strict rules. Basically anything that reminds you of Halloween or autumn or fall is good enough. And this particular yarn, the September yarn, or box number 9 in my 12 days of Christmas Advent calendar from last year with 50-gram skeins of yarn. It reminds me of pumpkin spice, which is autumn, fall, and I think kind of spooky because I don't like it. I don't like pumpkin spice, but we're not going to go into that discussion again. It's pumpkin spice lattes is autumn. That screams autumn to me. And so I'm going to I'm going to use that as my entry or my motivation or whatever you want to call it for both of these make-alongs. So hopefully next week I'll have a good chunk of progress done on those socks. I'm also hoping that I can get started on working on Penguono again. I started that several months ago. It's just been too stinking hot to even think about working on it lately. So I'm hoping it cools down this week coming up and I'm able to actually start working on it again, because I do want to get it finished so I can wear it this winter. So I also, some of my acquisitions, if you saw my extra video in the middle of the week, I ordered yarn from Holst Yarn to use for the upcoming Stephen West Mystery Show make-along that will be starting up beginning of October. So it calls for gradient yarn with 4 colors, each 100 grams. So the colors I have, and these are the same colors that were suggested as one of the kits at Stephen and Penelope. I ordered it directly from Holst Yarn because I didn't want or need all the extras, so I thought I'll just order it from Holst. So the 4 colors I have are silver gray. The second color is flannel gray. The third color is slate gray. And the final color is graphite. So those are the 4 colors. It's not showing up quite as well on this with this lighting. But those are the 4 colors. These ones, that the contrast isn't too strong, but it'll do. It's contrasty enough, I hope. And I'm thinking if is one of the colors that was listed at Stephen and Penelope, I'm assuming that the colors will work well together and that the gradient won't be too muted. We shall see. Worst case scenario, it'll be a subtle gradient and it is what it is. But that's what I have for my this is called Geo Gradient, the Stephen West mystery shawl knit along that'll be starting up, I think, the 5th of October. I do want to knit a swatch with that. I was hoping to have that to show you today. I didn't get a chance to get that done in the last few days, so I should have time to get it done for next week, so I'll get a better feel for how the colors play together once I have the swatch knit up, but that won't happen till later in the week. But I'll get to show you that next week. And my other thing I've been working on this week is my newest diamond painting. These are always hard to show in this light. But here's what's done so far. That's about half done. So the top is just this gorgeous pinkish red apple, and the bottom half of it. This is so pretty. I really like this one. This one is so much more satisfying than the horse one I did last was. This is just, you can see the design so much nicer on this one. So I'm hoping, my gut feel is that one will be finished next week as well. Working on those for me go quite quickly. I'm able to put in like a half hour here, an hour there over a cup of tea in the morning, and it works. It's working out pretty quickly. I'll hold off. I won't order another one until this one is finished, but I'm still absolutely loving doing those. So on Friday, yesterday, the hubby and I went to Frederick, Maryland. It's sort of 45-50 minute drive from here, and we looked around a few shops. We went out for lunch first, then we went we went downtown. My husband found an art gallery museum that he wanted to check out. It was it's quite small, but it was really nice. It is the, what is it called? The Delaplane Gallery. And it was really nice. They have a lot of local artists that have displays there. And it was really nice. We quite enjoyed it. So my husband was looking in the gift store and he found this watercolor painting that he absolutely loved. And so do I. I think it is so pretty. It's an original. It's not just a print. It's an original, and we just thought it was really pretty. So we picked it up, brought it home. There's a little thing with the bio of the artist. And so we really liked it. So now we need to get a frame. It's all nicely matted, but we need to get a frame for it so we can find somewhere in the apartment to hang this. But we just thought it was really lovely. Then after that, we wanted to go. The hubby by this point was dying for a cup of coffee. So we thought, well, we'll continue around downtown and we'll go and park someplace else and we'll go and look into finding a coffee shop. So we're driving around here and there, and we're driving up one street, and they were setting up there. I think today they're having like a big block party thing right downtown. So they were setting up some stages, and there was like parking meters were labeled no parking for today. But we're driving along, they're setting up this stage, and just out of the corner of my eye, I'm driving. So just out of the corner of my eye, I saw this sign that said crafts, yarn, and fabric. And I nearly, and my husband's like, goes, watch the road, don't crash the car looking at a yarn sign. I was going like 4 miles an hour because we were just coming up to the intersection, and there was a red light and the intersection, and they were setting up the stage right partway on the street. So if I had, it wouldn't have been any major accident. I would have just bumped something. But I saw the sign said yarn, so I'm just like, oh, we gotta go. So we went and we found a parking spot. We wandered back to the yarn store. Hubby went and sat down, and he said it was so nice, they had the spouse section. So he went and sat in one of these little comfy armchairs, and I was admiring all the yarns. So it is Magpie Fibers, or Magpie. The name of the store was Magpie. And so I looked around, found all kinds of, so here's the shiny, it's hard to, I'm not sure if that's going to show up very well. But, so I was looking around at all the different yarns and groping things and petting all these little balls of yarn. I thought, well, I want to buy something. So I was chatting with one of the girls that was working there, and she was pointing out some, because I had one I had picked out. It was dyed by, it's like a local dyer that has opened up a store that has mostly their own yarns, Magpie yarns, or Magpie Fibers. And they have them in multiple weights, and then they had some other yarns there. They had some Malabrigo, they had, excuse me, they had quite a few other types of yarns there as well, but they had a lot of the yarns they had there were their own hand-dyed yarns, which were gorgeous. And I had one that I was looking at, and I was kind of got a hold of it. And then I was looking at it, and I was looking at some of the other ones on this other table, and the girl that was working there was telling me, she said, well, these ones on this table are all one of a kind that basically were yarns that were not perfect according to the person who was doing the dyeing. There was a little oops in them of some sort that they didn't quite, or they were trying out new colors or new ideas, and they just weren't quite what they wanted. So these were on for 20% off. So I'm like, even better. So I got that. Look at those colors. Even if this is a one of a kind, oh my gosh. So there's the label. It's the Swanky Sock. Hoping that maybe too much of a glare coming in the window. It is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. 400 yards, 100. Oh, it's 115 grams. I missed that. I thought it was 100 grams. And it's a one of a kind, and it's called Paris Train. And it's labeled as second sale yarn, Swanky Sock. But hand dyed in Frederick, Maryland. There's their webpage, magpiefibers.com. I'm hoping this is not all. I'm seeing it backwards. This is probably all showing up backwards for you. So Paris Train, 115 grams. So this will definitely make a serious. I was thinking of using 50 to 60 grams. Well, I might just. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think and talk at the same time, and it's clearly not working. What I think I'm going to do with these is I'm going to do a pair, I'll do 2 at a time toe up sort of shorty socks. So this basic exact style of sock, but I'm not going to do anything different. I'm not doing the contrasting heels and toe and the little pop of color. I'm not doing that in bare. It'll all be in the one color. So that should use closer to 70 grams. So that'll still leave me with 45 grams left. Maybe I'll see about doing that as a second pair of sort of shorty socks that are stripy. That might work nice. Or I might put it aside. I'm just petting it. It's so soft. I think this is one of the first skeins I've had that is the merino cashmere nylon. So that's what a lot of people call it MCN. Oh, it is so nice. And I will definitely be going back to this yarn store. 100% I will be going back to this yarn store. Maybe the next time I'll go, I'll get a color that would coordinate with this. The girl that was there did show me one yarn that she said people have been using this one. It's similar to this brownish color in here. It was a nice coppery brown that she said people have been making socks and doing the heels, toes, and cuffs in the brown and the rest in this. That would also look really nice. Just do one pair of socks. Do one pair of socks in the contrast color and then do another pair. So get 3 pair of socks out of 2 skeins of yarn, where I can do either the heels, toes, and cuffs in the brown and do the rest of the sock in this, or do them striping. I think the striping would be nice with the contrast color. I'm also suspecting that later this month, so I love this yarn, and 20% off was a cool bonus. I am also suspecting they might be vending at the Frederick Fiber Festival, which will be coming up in around the 24th-ish, whatever that weekend is, around the later part of October. They do it twice a year, in October and April. They have a fiber festival in Frederick. I went there last year in October. I missed April for some reason. I can't remember why we couldn't go in April. We went last October and it was fantastic. and I am 100% planning on going this October. So I'm kind of hoping that Magpie is there vending. If they're not, we will definitely be making a trip back to Frederick. There's so many really cool little shops in the downtown area that the hubby and we really want to spend like a whole day just wandering in and out of all these different shops and just looking at all the different cool stuff they had there. So I will definitely be going back to her shop, and I will definitely be buying more yarn. So I think I really do think what I'll do is I will end up getting another pair that coordinates with this nicely. Either get like a teal maybe that's in here, but I really like this brownish color. And see about doing a second pair of these in the stripey design. I think that would be neat. Do you think that would be neat? I think that'll be neat. So that's my plan. I'm hoping they're at the Frederick Fiber Festival. If not, maybe I'll make it down there again later this fall. Kind of hoping, the hubby and I were thinking maybe we'd like to go and do an overnight there, stay at a bed and breakfast, and then just explore all around downtown all day. Or if we go again, we'll go earlier. Like, we didn't leave yesterday. We left home about 11:30, went out for lunch first, then we just kind of looked around downtown for a few hours and then had to get going back home again. So if we go again, we'll probably have breakfast at home and blast off by 9 o'clock in the morning so that we have all day to look around in all these shops. So I will definitely be going back. 100% will be going back there. It's not that far a drive. So I thought that was just a complete fluke. I never even thought to look for yarn stores around there. Complete fluke that I just saw it say yarn on the side of this building and got all excited and we had to go. So I'm so excited. I want to go back. It was a beautiful little yarn store. I would have liked to have got some video footage, but I didn't. If we go back, I don't think we'll make it back in October, but if we go in December, I will film it as part of my Vlogmas series when we do go there. And I'll also film if I happen to see them in October when I do Vlogtober. I quit scritch in there. I'm just poking at the big red spot on my chest from stop. Anyway, I'm really getting rambly now. I should probably stop talking. Start getting the editing done on this. The hubby called, he was at work, he called that a friend gave us a couple tickets to go to this banquet. It's a fundraising banquet thing that our friend bought a couple tickets for us to go for dinner tonight at this fundraising thing at the fire hall across from where my hubby works. So we're gonna go to that. It's not the supper runs over it's kind of like set up a buffet style, so you can go and just get what you want different times. You don't have to, it's not like a sit down, everyone's served at the same time. So we're gonna go to that. He's gonna be leaving work in about half hour, 45 minutes, and then we're gonna go for an early supper. And then we'll come back home and probably watch. We're kind of hoping we can do a Riff Tracks double feature movie tonight. And if that's the case, then I'll be able to get lots of work done on my September socks. That'll be fun. But otherwise, yeah, I really am rambling now. So on that note, I shall let you go. And I will talk to you guys again in a week. Alrighty, take care everyone. Bye.